Now, I'm going to start with question 7. Okay, so Yedley, do you have the question paper? You do, right? So we start with question 7. Yes, because question 7, you're skipped. So many of you did not do this. Okay, so if we look at question 7, we know the topic is actually on water, isn't it? Okay, so when you think about water, they like to test you on evaporation, condensation, etc., etc. We are not skipping, we are going from the back. Okay, Jinpo is here. Let's see, Jinpo. Is it a Jinpo? Oh, should be Jeremy. Yes. So look at these particular question. Is this something that is unfamiliar? Is this a question that is unfamiliar? No. What do you think they are trying to ask over here? Yes, very common. It's just that it is seen in different ways. Okay, so we are talking about condensation, isn't it? So you have a freshly baked cake being taken out of the oven. Okay, so you can imagine this is something very hot, isn't it? And then immediately it's placed in a glass container. What will happen? I mean, even when we pack food, we also know that this kind of thing happens, right? Okay, we know that you are going to observe something, okay, which is the water droplets. Okay, it's actually observed on the inner surface. So you have water droplets on the inner surface. This will be the inner surface. Can you explain how these droplets came about? This kind of question is really giving you free marks. Okay, that means very easy to score the marks here. So what are the ways? Tedious, but you realize that it's very standard kind of answer to be given. Perez is here. So how would you actually type it in? Okay, I have seen many of you leaving blanks so far. Let me tell you who are the people who did this. Actually, only Joy. Out of all of you, only Joy submitted this. Okay, so what is happening here? You did it. Such a pity. Delia, I didn't see it. If you want to see my screen of your answers, right? Can you see here? Okay, the few of you attempted, and then 7A, B, C, and D, I only see Joy's answer. You failed to record. No worries, we can always go through this now. You just quickly type it in. Oh, right. Can system down maybe. Renzo, you did this. I didn't see your answer at all. The system wasn't able to capture this. Not to worry, you just have to type it into the chat. I think I'm not going to harp on all this because the most important thing is for you to understand. But I downloaded just now only. Okay, not yesterday, not the day before, but I downloaded just now before 5 o'clock. All right, so let's come back to this. How are you supposed to answer this? Okay, step by step. First thing, freshly baked cake taken out of the oven is very hot. Correct or not? Yeah, you can type now. Delia, you have the link to the Google Sheet. You can type it in. Okay, those of you who want to type the answer in now, you may. That's why I asked you to bookmark the Google Sheet, right? Yes, you can type it in. You need to go to question 7A though. And be careful, don't delete anybody's answers. Okay, so we know that this is actually very hot. Correct? So where did the water droplets came about? Okay, it's because, okay, number one, you have a lot of water vapor around, right? So these water vapor gain heat, isn't it? So they become warm. They gain heat from the hot cake. Now, so they gain heat and then this hot water vapor rises, okay, from all directions. And when they come into contact with the cooler glass container, but you need to mention also the inner surface. So talk about the warm, okay, warm water vapor. Important words they look out for. Okay, come into contact. You need to compare. Just now was warm, right? So now the inner surface, cooler inner surface of what? Of glass container. Very tedious, but the moment you write your full answer, you get your full marks. So what happens when it comes into contact with a cooler surface? The water vapor, which is warm, will then lose heat. Okay, so warm water vapor come into contact with cooler inner surface of glass container, comma, loses heat. After it loses heat, what will it do? Condense. Okay, so condenses. Okay, so have we already answered this question? We talk about the water droplets. How did they form? Yeah, no problem. Okay, Delia, I think you can answer this. Okay, the most important thing is, okay, for example, when I look at Joy's answer, warmer water vapor, all right, how come I actually put her as correct? You see, the way she's answering, I read her answers twice before I decided to give her answer, the correct answer. Before I shade this thing for her, I was looking at, okay, warmer water vapor, right? So the warmer water vapor is inside the glass container, correct? She's not wrong. Then she talked about these water vapor lost heat and condensed onto the cooler surface of the glass container. It's fine. Okay, it's fine. All right. So you write this way, Joy, I accept it. Okay, if you look at the suggested answer, okay, suggested answer that is being given, okay, it was, I think all of you can see that. You should have your copy if you have printed out. If you didn't, okay, let me show you. Suggested answer is this: warm water vapor from the cake, okay, came into contact with the cooler inner surface of the glass container, lost heat, condensed to form water droplets, similar to mine. Okay, the water vapor can be from the cake. You know, cake is moist, isn't it? Okay, especially after it just came out, right? Keep overlapping. Renzo, if it keeps overlapping, that means you need to do something which is known as wrapping, text wrap. Okay, you need to do text wrapping. Right, Renzo, I'm going to teach you this. This is a skill all of you need to learn, because when you go to secondary school, there's a lot of home-based learning. All right, and you might need to know all these things also. So what I usually do, I will select everybody's one lah. Okay, and then I will vertical align it, and then I will text wrap it. So all the answers are being wrapped inside each of this cell. Okay, so in Google Sheet, we call this the cell lah. So your answer, when you type in, it should be wrapped inside the cell. You try now, Renzo. Okay. Yeah. So the rest you all did lah, but I just wanted to do this because I wanted to see how. Yeah, when typing out, it will overlap. If it overlaps, you go out of the cell, then go back there again. Then you click the wrap. For example, okay, let's say it's this one. Go on. Something like that, right? It will wrap, it wrap nicely. Do you see it? Mine seems to be okay. If yours is not okay, let's say it will overflow to another cell. Okay, you get out of this cell, click somewhere else, go back there again, then you click the wrapping. It will be good. Yeah. How do you remove underline? Leave the underline. I'll do it for you. Most important thing is for your answers to be inside there. Then I can read and tell you how you can improve on your answers. Okay. Yeah. Yep. This is good. This is like mine, right? Okay. So when we look at the next question now, okay, I know you all are typing in. It's okay. We'll just go through first. So Mrs. Chen, okay, and her daughter then baked another cake, left it to cool in the kitchen for half an hour. So there's a difference now. They baked another cake, but they left it to cool in the kitchen for half an hour before putting it in another glass container. So when this happened, okay, the cake already cooled down by a lot. Half an hour, I suspect it will be like at least 90% cooler than before. So compared to part A, would the amount of water droplets observed on the inner glass surface increase, decrease, or remain the same? Okay, after you put the cake into the glass container, the cake has cooled down. What do you think? Will there be a lot of water droplets? No water droplets? Cannot be no, okay? So it's either got more, stayed the same, or lesser. Okay? What do you think? After it's cooled down, if you were to look back at just now, that question, right? Okay, just now we say that it's very hot. So a lot of warm water vapor. Now, is it hot? It is not that hot anymore. So what will happen? There should be lesser. Okay, there should be lesser water droplets observed in the inner glass surface. How do you explain this? Okay, this part here, you see, some of the water would have evaporated from the cake, so less water vapor could condense. Any comments on this answer? No record found. Oh dear. Okay, either you just pay attention to what I'm going through, or you can type in your answer now, or or you can do together lah. Okay, it doesn't matter. The most important thing I feel is you have to know how to write a good answer. Okay, it's not about showing me that you're perfect. I don't care whether you're perfect or not now. I care about whether you understood and whether you can write a good answer during PSLE. Okay, because I won't be sitting beside you, isn't it? And asking you, do you know how to improve on this? Do you think this is good? Yeah, so if you can concentrate and listen, some students don't participate, okay, but they still improve, Yeah, because they have different types of learning style. So to them, they just listen, they observe, they can have that kind of photographic memory, then that's fine for them. Okay, but if you are that kind who needs to participate in order to do well, then it will be good, okay, that you try to put in your answer. Maybe what I can do is, Delia, since you always come in early, okay, that means 5:15, quickly go to check whether this Excel or this Google Sheet is updated already. Then at least you see missing answers, right? You can key in. Yeah, I think that will work. Okay, so what do you think of this answer? Any comments? We need to talk about answers as well, because if you feel that the answer is not good enough, you tell me why, then I will be able to guide you also. Yep. Joy, what do you think? Do you think this is really sufficient? Salman, next I'll be asking you. So read this question and the answer given. And then tell me, all right, over here, okay, tell me whether this is good enough. If this is good enough, okay, tell me why it's good enough. But if let's say it's not, comment on it also. Joy, you start off with it first. Can you see this answer that I'm showing you? Okay, it says decrease, and then the explanation is this. Do you think the explanation is good enough? Why? Why would you say that?